They'll bring them to exactly this life total on exactly this turn. It's crazy. You guys should go check them out if you have the opportunity. And
turn 2 go.
Turn 2 go for Mike Jacob. Wow.
That's a sad time.
Well, I think so. In the mirror match, or even a pseudo mirror match, I think the only way you keep a hand that doesn't do anything on turn 2 is if you've got action like Exarch Splinter Twin.
Yep.
Or if you have part of your combo. We know he has the Exarch. I haven't seen the Twin in his hand. We'll see what goes on. So.
Turn 3.
Passes. So.
MJ knows a Batterskull's going to come down.
Yep. But interesting.
There's a mountain.
So the interesting trump to what's going on here is there's the Batterskull that Stoneforge fetched. Is that so for the last couple of weeks the mirror match has been all about Batterskull wars. How do we beat Batterskull? But the Splinter Twin deck just trumps it entirely.
Yeah, it doesn't care. It doesn't. You could have killed 12 opponents and then come to the table with all that life from all those previous opponents, and Splinter Twin just doesn't care.
Right. So it just goes over the head of the Batterskull players. So
5 damage coming on in.
Yep. So Michael Jacob will drop to 15 here.
I believe that's an EOT end of turn Exarch.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it'd be mid combat. I mean, I guess it could be.
It could be just to try to keep him from casting Jace post combat, for example.
I think leaving mana up also accomplishes him probably not casting Jace post combat though, because it's reasonable to think Mike has a mana leak in his hand because there's a mana leak from Edgar. It's reasonable to think Mike has a mana leak in his hand, but I guess it was mid combat.
Yeah. I mean, I know that talking to a lot of the top players, they seem to like to really aggressively just be like, show me the mana leak. Here's my Jace.
Yep.
And I don't know that I agree with that, but I know Sam Black said that's the way he plays it. It's just like, show it to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. A lot of players have different philosophies. Some people are just like, I'll always go for it. Some people will never go for it. And you can watch like Martin Yuza and Luis Scott Vargas play like Magic. They'll play the same, have the same hand play in 2 totally different ways and still win, despite playing in totally different ways every time. So.
Scalding Tarn fetches a mountain for Michael Jacob.
So now he has access to Splinter Twin if he ever gets to that point. Let's see. Looking at his hand, I see a Jace. Yep, and here comes.
Edgar, I would be not unsurprised if he has a counter. No counter. Goodbye token.
And so you see what Mike Jacob did there is he baited out Edgar's mana leak that turn, and now
Edgar takes care of one of MJ's lands, hoping to push an advantage on mana. So
yeah, that Glacial Fortress goes away, but by MJ makes Edgar, or doesn't make him, but he entices Edgar to use that mana leak, and then he's able to untap and cast that Jace.
I see a sword, a twin. Can't see what else that Jacob has. Sword, a twin, a land, 2 lands.
It looks like 3
Another
lands.
Mystic.
I think I see Evolving Wilds, Basic Land, Arid Mesa.
And the Jace goes down to 1.
Okay. And is that Inkmoth Nexus for Edgar Flores?
I can't tell. The glare of the foil is getting me there.
Edgar Flores with his all-foil decks makes it difficult for us. But I'm pretty sure that's Inkmoth Nexus. It's either Nexus or Tech Edge.
I would expect that Edgar here is going to brainstorm and then get rid of some of that land. Not Edgar, Michael, because I think Michael has 3 or 4 land in his hand right now.
Draws 1, 2, 3 lands off the top. Now he can play the Scalding Tarn and shuffle them all away, which is nice.
He's got an Arid Mesa, a Scalding Tarn, I think that was a Glacial Fortress, a Terramorphic Expanse, an Island of Plains, or not Plains, it was an Island of Mountain.
Yeah, that's. But look at Michael Jacob. Just he tries to put it on the bottom of his library.
Yeah,
he knows he's gonna shuffle, but.
And he says go.
But look at Michael Jacob. A lot of players, like we saw earlier, would just be giving away body language, like, oh, it's so bad for me right now. But Michael Jacob is just as stoic as ever.
Batterskull comes back, ready to be a problem once again.
And probably just put it into play at the end of the turn with Stoneforge Mystic at the end.
I mean, the Mystic might want to try to attack the Jace at 1.
Could survive the Jace at 1.
There is an Inky, though. You're right. There's an Inky.
Yeah, I think you serve Inkmoth Nexus on Jace. See what happens. Yep, there's Inkmoth Nexus activated. And then serve that one on Jace. Then end step you can put Batterskull on the battlefield. And then you have a 4/4, and you can start to serve again. So it plays out a Colonnade, okay.
Okay.
So now he's going to go to combat. And yeah, 1 in on Jace. Jace dies.
Dead Jace.
Mike quickly
Jace
corrects that Evolving Wilds.
happy to be rid of those extra lands after the brainstorm into more lands.
Yep.
And by... Go ahead.
I just say peels that island off the top.
I mean, one of the things that is like an old truism is that if you search for a land, the top of your library will be a land. It's just how it works, how the Magic game works.
Well, it's especially true when Jace the Mind Sculptor put that land in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, thin out your library and it becomes more likely. It's somehow the strange math of Magic. What did he get? I'm curious. Dang, I can't see.
Something.
Something behind that poison sign.
We'll see what he's got. Looks like he's moving his lands. Is that an XR?
Maybe a little Jace?
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
not
can't
little
be a little
Jace.
Jace. Sword.
Sword. Alright, so there's a Sword of War and Peace. So Mike has both swords now. I think he might have drawn the War and Peace that turn. You see him in his hand tight and close to his chest, but I think it's very possible he drew that this turn. And so he plays that Arid Mesa and passes back.
Down comes the skull.
Yep, Batter Skull down for Edgar Flores. Now, that Batter Skull is going to do a lot of damage, but if Mike is able to establish a creature, he can definitely gain some life off that Sword of War and Peace, which will help him race, or at least not die to that Batter Skull.
Yep. And cast a little Jace from Edgar Flores. Edgar draws.
I think that was a Seacrum Coast he picked up at the top of his library. So Edgar's board is Little Jace, Stoneforge Mystic, Batter Skull with Germ. Michael Jacob has a bunch of lands and a Sword of War and Peace.
5 damage will knock Michael Jacob to 8.
So about on a 2-turn clock. Edgar also has that Celestial Colonnade, so he could theoretically go for the kill next turn. If he was gutsy enough.
I mean, at this point, unless his hand feels super strong to him, you might just go for the Hail Mary. Ooh. If he had it, I mean. Which he does not, apparently.
Yep, and Mike just concedes.
Now, the thing to recognize here, too, is... Rashad is telling us some information.
Okay. Rashad is telling us information. But, oh, here we go. So, in the meantime, how about you guys go on and check out SCG Mobile? This is a project Evan Irwin's been working on for a long time. Just released last week. It's pretty awesome. You can pick it up in the App Store. It's not on Android yet, but it's on all iProducts currently. And you can keep your life total on it. You can read the latest articles on StarCityGames.com. You can do all kinds of great things with this application. And I don't know, it just seems like something useful to have to me. I mean, only more functionality is going to be added in time. You can look up cards on it. I don't know. I've heard nothing but good things. Unfortunately, I have an Android, so I am not able to buy the app. But I've heard nothing but good things from the people who have it.
You know, like things like tools like this. If you notice the center of that little timer that's on there. Like I know I use my smartphone just for a timer, and so having an app that can do all kinds of other things as well, that's great.
Yeah. OMG Wyatt writes it on Twitter. I bought the app and it's just awesome. So take it from OMG Wyatt and us, for that matter. Actually, it's pretty cool. You can favorite articles on there too. You can see what other people like. There's all kinds of really cool stuff on there. And
one of the things about Evan is so proud of this thing. And the thing is, Evan is one of those people, he is like always working hard at stuff, but when he gets really excited about his work, he does it out of pride. He's really happy with how this has turned out, and he's a perfectionist. He's not somebody that's a slacker or a slouch. He's a perfectionist. So, I mean, this is like a good product. I'm really excited that we have things like this coming out. You know, the future is here. We don't have hover cars, but we do have an awesome app.
Yeah, I think it's only like $5 or something like that. So it's not even that expensive. I mean, when you consider all the utility you get out of it, like easy way to read the website, all kinds of life total applications. Looking up cards is huge.
Yeah. When I was flying to this event, for example, I wanted to read the website, and you know, in the airport system, my laptop is not very useful for that. I got to spend $35 to get internet. Obviously, that's an exaggeration. And my phone, it's okay at reading the website, but like having an app that does things like this actively by itself, that's great.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can, like, the website's fine. It's okay to navigate on a phone, but it's way easier when you just have all the articles in front of you. You can just click on one, and boom, there it is.
Boom, there it is, the beginning of the game. Edgar Flores, Michael Jacob. Michael Jacob is on the play here. Gets his opening hand. We see, looks like Mountain, Preordain, Island, Celestial Colonnade. Couldn't quite see anything else. Leads with Colonnade.
Yeah, a lot of lands again. Is that a Gitaxian Probe in front of his hand? Or is that a Deceiver Exarch?
And on the other side, another Colonnade.
Emmanuel Perez, please report to the
I feel like Mike is
site
supposed to be favored in this
engaged.
matchup
He's ready.
based on, I mean, his deck choice.
Just
simply-
based on like 2 robots fighting with these decks.
Well, I mean, just it seems like this deck is the next step to counteract the Cobblade decks because it just has an infinite combo that can beat the Batterskull War.
So if Josh Utterlayton was on both sides of the matchup,
I mean,
who would win?
Utterlayton, Webbot versus Raptorbot. So Mike Jacob draws Dismember there. Dismember, a nice little card in the mirror match. You can hit their Stoneforge Mystic. A lot of people are like, oh, well, it just kills Mystic. But I'm like, yes, it kills Mystic. You can play it, kill their Mystic, and then they don't get to Batterskull you or anything add evil. So
Turn
there's the
2
Mystic, and he's going to get Batterskull, and Mike's just going to Dismember it.
Yep. And again, looking at this, we have a moment where Edgar Flores has the turn 2 Mystic, and Michael Jacob does not cast the turn 2 Mystic. Does have the Dismember, as you're talking about, pays the 4 life.
Right, and that 4 life is a small price to pay for, what's going on.
I mean, it delays the Batterskull at the very least by 2 turns, and perhaps by many, many more than that.
I mean, assuming he doesn't play another Mystic, it's at least 3 turns. So that's it's pretty solid. So he preordains he ships 2 lands, I'm pretty sure. Draws Deceiver Exarch. Looks like he plays a Mountain and passes the turn. So he's got Exarch in his hand. I think he has Gitaxian Probe. I think that's what that other blue card is.
I think you're right. Preordained from Edgar Flores.
The ubiquitous blue common. People talk a lot about Jace, Stoneforge Mystic, Swords, but Preordained, what an insanely powerful card.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been played in every single format. Even in Vintage, people play Preordained. Like that's power.
Island to join Island Celestial Colonnade for Edgar Flores. Michael Jacob draws another Celestial Colonnade.
And man, watch that Discipline with that Gitaxian Probe. A lot of players will be like, oh sweet, a card. Fire it off immediately.
Yeah.
But Mike knows he wants to always see if the coast is clear. So he has...
He's like, wait, upkeep. We're going to cast this Exarch. And now either way, if this Exarch resolves, or if Edgar Flores fights it, Michael Jacob gets a part of what he might want, which is to tap a little bit of Edgar's mana.
And I think does Mike have a Jace in his hand? Maybe he doesn't.
I can't see, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, he heard you.
He's like, I can hear you, let me show you.
At Plains for Edgar Flores.
Yep, so taps that extra land down, and now Mike has to decide if he wants to go for Jace or not. And that's Gitaxian Probe, but
I would probe. Probe and see what happens.
Because of his Discipline. Yeah, there we go.
Pay 2. What do you got? I can't tell.
All right,
Foil?
double Jace, Batterskull, into the Royal, Divine Offering, Plains, Island.
So that says to me not clear. Just, you'd probably lay the Jace here. Let's pretend he had a Splinter Twin. You'd lay the Jace, activate the Jace, and then have your Jace get bounced.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely play Jace.
Which is fine.
I mean,
it got the value you wanted.
I mean, you'll have your Jace get bounced. He'll play his own Jace, but then, I mean, if you found a Splinter Twin, the game's over.
Right,
and
exactly.
if you have a red sword.
The feature matches for round 4.
So we'll see what he finds here.
Table 10, Michael
Mountain.
And Paul
He's good at that. He is. Does he have any lands, any fetch lands in his hand?
I thought he had a Scalding Tarn.
There it is. Look at that. He's like, he hears us again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got Scalding. He's playing the camera, right? I'm pretty sure he has Scalding Tarn actually, because that's why he didn't pay a mana for the Gitaxian Probe, because he wanted to crack a fetch land after brainstorming.
There you are.
Someone once told me that about Michael Jacob, that he would be one of the best players on the Pro Tour if he just wasn't so unlucky all the time. So
that's really funny. I like that.
I mean, he's an incredible player. Just had
now Edgar Flores is thinking about Into the Royal. There it is.
Yeah, and there's Into the Royal. So you enter the Royal with Jace, and then the question is for Edgar: do you untap and play your own Jace, or are you afraid of Splinter Twin?
I think you play it. He's got nothing else in his. Now that he's used the Into the Royal, his Divine Offering can't stop Splinter Twin. He's got nothing else. He just wants to put it down there, get a little bit of a Jace advantage, and like keep Michael Jacob from having his Jace be a threat. Have Jacob's Jace be an answer instead.
I mean, especially you can also represent Spell Pierce, I guess, which could be relevant. I mean, Mike has another land, but all right. So Mike's gonna crack that. Now
which he might have his own Spell Pierce. I don't think he has that in his list, but It's possible.
Hey, we don't have deck list in front of us at this time. We'll see here shortly. Mike's eyebrows raised, looking for his land.
There is so much magic going on this weekend. It's just exciting to be like watching such great magic right now.
And once again, the players in this tournament are just so good. Like we have Edgar Flores, one of the best players on the Star City circuit, versus Michael Jacob, national champion, Pro Tour top 8 competitor, just amazing magician. All right, so he bounces Deceiver Exarch, and the way this works is even if he could play the Exarch this turn and untap one of his lands, it doesn't have haste, so he can't kill him this turn.
I think I saw a red spell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a Splinter Twin. So he has all the pieces he needs. So it's either that or a Bolt. But we'll see here. It's at the back of his hand now.
He's got 7 mana there if he goes cast Exarch, untap Mountain.
Yeah, but he can't Splinter Twin this turn.
Yeah, it'll be 6. It'll be 6. Yeah, you're right.
It's okay, I made that mistake earlier.
Yep. Dead Jace.
Alright.
And Edgar does have another Jace.
Yeah, but I like that play. Like I always find you just want to, like, being aggressive is definitely right sometimes, but it's also a great play sometimes. Just like keep all your cards, spend 5 mana to kill a Jace, because you do that every time, right? 5 mana kill a Jace.
Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree with Michael Jacobs' play at all.
Yep. Yep. That play is
another Jace for Edgar Flores. This time it's going to be the Brainstorm.
Yep, Brainstorm's again. Now, do you consider Fate Sealing or Scrying? Probably Scrying there to make sure you don't just get off by another Colonnade.
You know, the thing about this, like, I would definitely consider Fate Sealing probably myself, because Michael has 6 or 7 cards in hand. When you Fate Seal an opponent that has so many cards in their hand, it often doesn't do very much.
I think it's funny how everyone always calls Jace's ability Fate Seal no matter who they target, when it's actually just Scry 1 if you target yourself. I mean, I do it too, I just think it's hilarious. This little side brought to you by Gavin. Alright, so cast Squadron Hawk, get some more Squadron Hawks. And
untap from MJ.
Okay. So now he's got a blocker.
Is that a mortar pod?
I don't. It looked white. That looks. It's gotta be some technology card we don't see every day. Is that War Priest of Thune?
Yeah, it could be War Priest.
Why would you bring that in this matchup? Like, is there an enchantment you want to kill?
Maybe it's not what. You know, it's hard to tell what it is.
It looked white to me. I'm not sure.
It also could be an older art of a card we otherwise would see.
It could be an old art Divine Offering. No, but it's new frame. Alright, so he cracks Scalding Tarn. Let's see what he does. Maybe he's got a JCB, a small Jace here. Finds a Mountain. I guess he wants to be able to Deceiver Exarch. See what he does. It looks like War Priest, an awful lot like War Priest.
And Michael Jacob says go. 12 life, a single Squadron Hawk out, a Celestial Colonnade back, and it looks like, is that an Inky just got dropped? Inkmoth Nexus?
Yeah.
In comes the little
that's just a Plains.
Is it just a, really?
Yeah, it's just a Plains. We got a gigantic white text box.
Oh, okay.
I do Phyrexia Plains.
And another little caw comes to the table. Edgar does not search.
Okay.
He's already full up on his Squadron Hawks.
Has met his caw quota. So that's a Crush sitting in his hand, though. That's what the red card was.
I see a Splinter Twin, a Crush, a Exarch, a Mystery War Priest of Thune, if that is what that is.
It's Plains.
It's a Plains?
Yeah, it's a Plains.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I was talking about before on the Edgar Flores side if that was an Inkmoth that he put into play.
Yeah, that was Inkmoth.
Yeah, okay.
Tectonic Edge now for Edgar.
His 2 Squadron Hawks could come in, but that Celestial Colonnade is there for a potential defense. And Michael can potentially just eat that 2 damage, but his life isn't infinite. He's down to 11.
Yeah, but I mean, Mike has the win in his hand, so it's just a matter of if he feels like it's right to go for it.
End of the turn.
Or I think this might be combat. I'm not sure.
Or in combat.
Not sure exactly where we are in the turn.
Exarch.
Let's see what he chooses to do. I mean, Edgar has Tectonic Edge, so if he activates the Colonnade, it just gets edged in response.
This is true. Untap. Is that really what he's doing? Is he untapping?
We'll find out.
Untap.
Alright, untap.
Here come the cause.
So he just wants him to tap mana, and he tech edges it very quickly. Edgar knows how to play this deck so well. You can just watch how his plays are very crisp also. Now Michael Jacobs' plays are very crisp because he's got a lot of experience with just like playing decks like this in general, playing Magic in general. Now Edgar's only been playing for 2 years, but he's played Cobblade so much, all the plays are just rooted in his head. He knows what to do in every circumstance.
Michael Jacob tapped out. Edgar can do whatever he wants so long as he keeps up enough defense, and he chooses to put down another 1/1.
Yeah.
Puts him on a 3-turn clock for Michael Jacob.
I think Mike, I would not be surprised if he might go for it.
Twisted
right
Image, I think I see.
I would not be surprised if that was a Twisted Image. That is, Mike loves a Twisted Image. He made top 8 of Grand Prix Dallas Fort Worth earlier this year by putting 1 Twisted Image in the sideboard of his rug deck.
Yep. Here it comes, I think. He's got 4 mana set aside. Here it comes.
Bam.
Boink.
Mana
Leak. Show me 3 mana tap.
So I guess we'll pay 3.
Do you have another one? Do you have a spell snap?
Oh,
there it is.
Mana Leak.
Boing, boing.
Mana Leak number 1, Mana Leak number 2. So yeah, I think that is Twisted Image. He's got Crushed Twisted Image Sword.
In for 1.
Now noteworthy is that next turn Mike can equip that sword.
Also noteworthy is that Edgar can swing in here for 7.
Yep. Serve with that Colonnade.
If he chooses to, you know, riskily tap out in that way.
I think if I'm Mike Jacob, I probably just cantrip that Twisted
Yeah,
Image.
I burn that Twisted Image end of turn.
Yep.
There's only going to be like a turn left.
Yeah.
This next turn is your last turn.
Yeah, you're not going to get any value out of it, and you really need to dig for that Splinter Twin. Now, obviously, like if he plays a sword, like crushing is pretty important. But we'll see what happens.
Does he have a 3rd mountain? I think he does. Because that actually makes a difference if Edgar drops a sword of his own, for example.
Well, I mean, then you just crack the Scalding Tarn.
If he has the 3rd mountain. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. I'm pretty sure they do. We saw a list earlier that had a 3rd mountain.
$30 per team.
All right, so tap 6.
6.
Oh, Fearless.
Sun Titan. Sounds good. What are you getting back? Jace?
Tectonic Edge.
Tectonic Edge. That's good.
All right. So that was a pretty fearless play by Edgar there.
He says
Right.
go. Does not crack.
So
Wow.
Mike doesn't cycle. Draws another Twisted Image. So that's the 2nd Twisted Image in his hand. And some images are getting twisted. All right.
4/1.
Draw card. Drew Secret Coast. Not what he's looking for. Switch it again. All right. Switching it up.
1/4.
Drew
Ooh,
Jace.
Jace. Buys him no time? Where his mana is at. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, land in hand, but it's a Seachrome Coast. 7 mana potentially.
We can equip sort of War and Peace, but that doesn't do enough, right? That'll only gain him 3 life. Yeah, he's gonna take way more on the crackback. Yep. So there's Jace.
Okay, so he's got 2 mana available.
All right. If anyone can pull this out, it's Mike Jacob. We'll see what happens. Draws Inferno Titan, Sword Land, and packs him in.
There we are.
So Edgar Flores beats Michael Jacob 2-0. I feel like Mike had the upper hand in this matchup, but